Hey, I'm on the way to the job site for the first time in about 2 weeks. I spent the last 2 weeks down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at a campground. We actually go there every year, and the reason that might be interesting to you is because that's actually how we started our business. Back in 2001, my brother and I and my dad were on a golf cart just riding around the campground, and we happened to run across this crew that was installing a sprayed concrete overlay. And this was kind of before, it wasn't before the internet necessarily, but it was before we had the internet in rural Virginia. It wasn't easy to get information back then about something like a sprayed concrete overlay. It was actually the first time we'd ever even seen it. So what we did was we got the name and the number off the bag of material, which was Increte Systems, and then 2 months later, my dad and my brother flew down to Florida and did a weekend training at Increte Systems, and they came home with a ton of material and a ton of equipment to do the overlays, and that was how we started our business. So every time I go to the campground, I drive by all of these driveways that have these spray brick overlays, and I'm just fascinated. And the whole thing kind of came full circle last year. I'm pretty good friends with Scotty Lowe. He's the owner of Increte Systems' son, and he actually came on vacation. Him and his family came on vacation with us last year to that campground. So it's fascinating to me that because we happened to see that crew installing that product that day, that 16 years later, here's the owner's son of that product in the campground on vacation with us. Anyways, I'm in South Boston doing a garage floor. We're gonna knock this out today, and we'll be back tomorrow to finish it up. Okay, so we just did about, I think it's 2,200 square feet with 3 guys. Normally I like to have 4 just because it's so much easier, but we did it with 3. One of my guys is out of town this week. It's funny though, thinking about it, in the old days, like when we first started doing epoxy garage floors. If you're not familiar with epoxy, it will set up in the bucket. If you don't dump the bucket out completely, it actually will get hard in the bucket in about 10 minutes. So I just remember in the old days we'd have 4 guys on a 400 square foot garage, and we'd struggle through it, and stuff would set up on us. It's fun to see how far we've come. Okay, I'm heading back down to Clarksville today to put the top coat of epoxy on that garage floor we did yesterday. Should be a pretty simple day. Our guys went down there this morning and they got all the excess chips up off the floor. Once I get there, we're going to mix up the clear epoxy and we'll squeegee it out across the floor, and then we'll back roll it 2 or 3 times and we'll be done there. It should be pretty simple. Okay, so that went really well. We worked today with 4 people. Probably didn't need 4, but just brought an extra person down to kind of make it an easy day. And then every time I'm in Clarksville, I always like to go to this restaurant called the Lamplighter. And Clarksville's a really cool town. It has an old historic downtown area, and it all sits right on the water of Bugs Island Lake. So I'm gonna get the drone out and show you a few shots of how the town is situated and how it sits right on the water. It's a really cool place.
Things started to go sideways when the homeowner, which is, I don't know, late 60s, starts getting on his hands and knees and putting his head down on the ground and looking that way and looking this way.
His eyes are like inches off the ground. Okay, so I'm listening to the final draft of our next podcast, our 5th one. It's about disasters. I'm going through it, trying to make sure there's no mistakes or anything. I'm a little nervous about this one. It's about just different struggles we've had on specific jobs over the past 17 or 18 years. A little nervous talking about some of our mistakes we've made, but I think it turned out to be pretty funny. And in addition to that, I hope it's encouraging to everyone, because I know that we're not the only ones that kind of struggle through stuff. So it should be out by the time this video is online. So just check the link in my profile, or you can go to iTunes and search Hacking Concrete Podcast. Alright, that's it. We wrapped that project up. I was in town long enough to do that one garage, and now I'm packing my family up. We're going to Chicago to take the kids to Pokemon Go Fest. I know we're nerds, but anyways, we're going to go to Go Fest. We're going to spend a few days on Lake Michigan, and then hopefully catch a Cubs game.
to with all the other wild and crazy people.